Maido, hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we talk about Joe Biden and presenting. Present, Master Shimasho. This is the 8th year of the Presentation Japan series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, or in Japanese, Anatamo Present no Tachijin. My other books include Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muda ni Suru no wa Yamimashou. And my just released new book is Japan Leadership Mastery, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker to be 1, clear, 2, confident, 3, persuasive, 4, highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series, and every second Tuesday, the Business Tachijin no Oshie show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 396, and today we're talking about which version of Joe Biden are you as a presenter? American politics is a must-watch for the rest of us. Whoever becomes the next president will have major ramifications for every country on the planet. I'll not get into a political discussion about who should be the next leader, but I do want to pick up on some relevant aspects of the campaigns. In particular, the way Joe Biden handled recent debate and the subsequent massive criticisms of his public speaking ability. I wonder how many of the people concerned about his poor performance are also having the same issues. The major conclusions from the debate were that he was low energy. He may or may not have had a cold, but he was certainly low energy as a presenter. What do I see, though, in most business presentations by leaders? If they are Japanese CEOs, then invariably they are also low energy. Don't stand out in the crowd is how you go along to get along in Japan. So this low energy approach is baked into the culture. That's all right then, isn't it? When in Tokyo, do as the local Tokyoites do when presenting. Actually, no, it is not okay. Being able to have an audience absorb our message is the goal. Otherwise, why are we presenting? Low-energy presenters are vying with the allure of the internet for the attention of the audience. If, as a speaker, we are not gripping the listener's focus, they will switch that focus away from us to their email or social media while we are still talking. These days, even the good presenters have people in the crowd multitasking on their phones at the same time. Here is the point. Criticize Joe for his low energy, but just make sure you are not doing a version of that yourself. Are you able to hit keywords and phrases? to lift their value in a sentence? Are you able to move words to a higher plane to grab interest from the listeners? Democracy is great, but there is only the dictatorship of the most important words in a sentence to be applied when speaking. Not every word has equal rights and equal value, so elevate those which are more important to your message. Joe is certainly not a fluent speaker of English. In fact, he has never been a fluent speaker of English because of the stutter he has had his whole life. What is amazing to me is that someone with such a stutter should choose a line of work which requires a lot of speech making. Somehow, he has adapted his speaking to account for this stutter, and that directly impacts his timing and speed of speech. Well done, Joe, for being able to take such an obvious, high-profile speech defect and overcome it to be able to speak in public as a politician. I hope it gives encouragement to others who have the same malady. The lesson here is, if you work on it, you too can improve your public speaking ability. Maybe you won't become an outstanding speaker, but at least you can become effective. I have never stuttered, but I have done its close cousin, umming and ahhing. This can be similarly distracting as someone with a stutter. I worked with a colleague whose every few words were interspersed with ums. It was seriously painful to have to listen to him. What can we do about overcoming this annoying habit? Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do them in Japanese, we do them in English, we do them in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. The show today is being brought to you by, on the 24th of August, we'll be doing our Dale Carnegie course. On the 12th and 13th of September, our High Impact Presentations course, and on the 13th, another Dale Carnegie course. The website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 2,300 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan, every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs right up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget to grab my business best-selling books on Japan on Amazon. Japan Sales Mastery, which is Saegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, or in Japanese, Anata mo Presen no Tachijin. My other books include Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muri ni suru wa yamemashou, and my just released new book is Japan Leadership Mastery, and all are available on Amazon. Welcome back. The clue is to focus on the first word of each sentence. Hit that word hard. Say the sentence, then purse your lips and rinse and repeat. Over time, the umming and ahhing will lessen. I don't think I have 100% eradicated my old habit, but I know it is a lot better today by following this simple technique. Another useful habit has to be use pauses more effectively when I'm speaking. The filler words are just our brain trying to buy time to construct the next sentence and then decide how we want to say our thoughts out aloud. The pause delivers the same thinking time payoff without the annoyance. Another criticism of Joe was that he was sometimes rambling. This happens in CEO speeches too. They fail on 3 levels usually. One is they don't take public speaking seriously enough, usually because they are technical people who consider this stuff as fluff. They were great at maths, chemistry and physics at school, but were duds in English class. Secondly, they've not spent the time and effort to sufficiently plan the speech and focus on the navigation to make it easy for the audience to follow. I was attending the speech of a global CEO pre-COVID, and honestly, I was listening hard, but was still lost. He went off on a tangent. An esoteric is a kind word to describe what he was on about. Actually, it was flat out puzzling. What was the point? I asked some of the others sitting at the table after the speech if they could follow him, and like me, they were similarly lost. When we speak, we have to make sure that the direction of where we're going with the point is clear to the audience. Each section must link to the next, and there has to be a navigable flow to the thoughts and arguments. The other speech preparation fatality is rehearsal. I'll be bold and assert that 99% of business speeches are only ever given once to that audience on that day at that specific time. The preparation time is usually sucked up with a slide deck assembly. No time is left to actually do a full run through of the talk before it is unleashed on a live audience. Rehearsal allows us to understand the time control required to check on the fluency of how we deliver the talk and whether all the bits stitch together properly or not. Please, please, please schedule time for the rehearsal. Also, carefully instruct those giving you feedback to only give you good, better feedback. Otherwise, they will launch a witch hunt of your public speaking misdemeanors and destroy your confidence entirely. Joe may have been a train wreck during the debate, but let's not crow too loudly about his faults when we may still share versions of them ourselves. We should always be looking to learn from both the fabulous and underwhelming speakers. Remember, in the latter case, without training, but for them, there go I, applies in spades when presenting. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, your go-to guy for soft skills training in Tokyo, committed to your success here in Nippon.